Hey guys, today we are beginning Unit 6. So Unit 6 is going to be something brand new except for this lesson. This lesson we're actually starting out reviewing some things that you probably learned in Algebra 1 and have continued to use. So today's will feel pretty easy for you. Overall, this unit is going to be pretty long. It's about like the last one. So it's important that you stick with it. Don't put anything off or you're going to get really bogged down and you're going to feel really overwhelmed. So a monomial, that is a number, variable, or a product of numbers and variables. Just one term. So some examples might be like 2x, 153. 5x squared y cubed. Those are examples of monomials. And we're going to talk about some different rules and properties that we use with these. So for example, the first one is the product rule. If I have like x to the a power times x to the b power. If you're multiplying variables, you add the exponents. So for example, if I have x to the 5th times x cubed, that is x to the 8th power. If I have x to the a power raised to the b power, so I am raising a variable to another exponent, you multiply a times b. So for example, x to the 5th cubed, that would be x to the 15th power. The quotient rule, if I have x to the a power over x to the b power, we subtract x to the a minus b. So for example, x to the 5th over x cubed, that would be x squared. Now, negative exponents. If I have x to the negative a power, what that does is it takes your variable and moves it to the bottom of a fraction, and that exponent becomes positive. So this would be 1 over x to the positive a power. So if I have x to the negative 5th, that's the same thing as 1 over x to the positive 5th power. And anything to the 0 power is always 1. Doesn't matter what it is. If I raise it to the 0 power, it's going to be 1. So if I have 2,753x and I raise that to the 0 power, guess what? It's 1. All right, let's do some examples here. Number 1, we're multiplying. Now, any numbers that are out front, you just multiply those like normal. So this would be negative 35x to the 8th power. Now, number 2, that first term is already squared. So let's square that first. That would be 4, negative 2 squared is 4. A to the 6th b squared. And that's still times 8ab to the 9th. So when I multiply, we get 32, a to the 7th, b to the 11th. Number 3 starts out with a fraction, so let's simplify that first. If we have 54 divided by 3, that's 18. And then the m's that we're dividing, remember we subtract the exponent, so that would be m to the 4th, n cubed, minus 10 m to the 4th n cubed. When we're just adding or subtracting, all of your variables have to be the same. We have to have both m to the 4th n cubed, which we do. And so adding or subtracting doesn't change the variables. It only changes the numbers out front, or those coefficients. 8 m to the 4th n cubed. Number 4, this would be 20k to, when I multiply variables, we add the exponents. So that would be negative 3 power. And if you remember what I told you about negative exponents, it brings the variable, the 20 doesn't move, just the variable, to the bottom of the fraction. So that would be 20 over k cubed. The only thing that moves is the variable with the exponent. Number 5. All right. This one, when I square 2/3, that would be 4/9. We would have r to the 4th, s to the 14th, times 1/6 r cubed s. Now if we first multiply fractions, I would suggest just doing it in your calculator. 4/9 times 1/6, and it will simplify the fraction for you. And you get 2/27. Then we have r to the 7th, s to the 15th. Number 6. This example, the entire fraction is raised to the negative first power. We have a few options. We could just go ahead and simplify what's in the parentheses first, which I think would be easiest. So let's do that. Let's simplify. Oops. So 14/7 is 2. And then w to the 12th over w cubed. If we subtract, we get w to the 9th. Now, because that entire thing is raised to the negative first power, we're going to move the entire thing to the bottom. Just like that. And then that -1 exponent goes away. Okay. Number 7, let's go ahead and simplify the fraction. 15/24 simplifies to 5/8. Okay. Then the x's, if I subtract x, let me rewrite this. I have x, that would be negative 2 power. And y, 4 minus 3 is 1, so y to the first power. So this x to the negative 2 needs to move to the bottom of the fraction so it can become a positive. The y stays up top. You could also look at this a little differently. You could see, with the x's, you could see, okay, well, if I cancel out 10 in the top, 10 in the bottom, that leaves me with just x squared in the bottom. That's another way to look at that. And then the y's, you can cancel out 3 y's, so all of the bottom ones disappear. You're left with 1 up top. All right, and number 8, we have, this would be c to the 4th over c to the 8th, which really, okay, those c's can cancel, and we only have 4 left in the bottom. So this is really 1 over c to the 4th times negative 3 to the 4th power is 81, and then we have c to the 4th. So this is really 81 c to the 4th over c to the 4th. Those cancel. My answer is just 81. Now this lesson does continue a little bit. I'm going to stop the video for now, and you will pick up with the second video tomorrow. Have a great day.